Welcome to this episode of Short Shifts. I'm your driver. What? I'm your chauffeur. I don't know who I am, but I'm Jehu Jeffrey Scott Lavecchio. My co-pilot on this episode is the one, the only, the Topher Scott. Toph has 10 minutes on the clock for me. He has no idea what I'm about to say. Nobody does. Toph, your topic tonight. All right, this is something I've been talking to the kids with. I'm training. I'm at 3 days a week at TPH St. Louis Academy, where I'm working with the kids in the gym, and been talking to every weekend. How was your weekend? What do where were you? Where were you playing? All this stuff. All these kids now, they go to showcases, and there's not a lot of tournaments anymore, and I hate that. I want to know your thoughts on showcase weekends versus tournaments. You and I grew up, we played in tournaments. I think there's something to be said about like losing and then not getting another game. Not like you're going on a weekend, you're guaranteed a certain amount of games. I also think playing in championship games or playing in games where you could lose, like you don't move on to the next round. I think that type of pressure is great for athletes. That's just my own thoughts. What are your thoughts on tournaments? Should we have more of them, bring those back, or is it now, are we just destined for showcase weekends every freaking weekend now with no winners or anything? Ugh. It's like
First of all, people use the word showcase very loosely.
Yeah.
Because showcase means there are scouts there watching.
Yeah.
When at the end of the day, like if you have a peewee, there's no such thing as a peewee showcase or a squirt showcase or a mite showcase or probably a bantam showcase. Like maybe in some instances, like you can get away with bantam, but like anything under that, if it's called a showcase at peewee or squirt or mite, Adam novice up in Canada, it's not. It's not, because there are no scouts in the stands that are watching that age. I guarantee you. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what else you would call it if there's like not a winner, but other than showcase, but like it's not a showcase. So
games.
yeah.
Yeah, you're playing games. Congrats. It's not
playing
showcase.
games in an organized fashion. And so the reason why people do showcases is because it gives a little bit of schedule predictability. Like if you have, like, let's say you're a team that's from Chicago and you're going to a showcase in Boston, right? Then like, you have to book a flight. And so when do I book a flight if I don't know that, you know, when the championship, or if my team's going to be in the championship game or whatever. Now you could just book the flight after the championship game, but then it's a little bit tougher because there's only so many Sunday night flights back to wherever you're coming from, right? So the reason why there's showcases and not tournaments is just a little bit more of predictability from a travel standpoint. I am 100% with you though. Like there's nothing better than tournaments. There is nothing better than a round robin tournament and then a quarterfinal and then a semifinal and then a championship game at the end of the day. Because yeah, like it's more about the team than like a showcase in and of itself. You are showcasing yourself as an individual. Like that's like that's why you do them. Like tournaments is about the team and the team winning the tournament, which also sends a great message. But like I forget about like the academic or why it would be like, just put yourself in a kid's shoes. How much more fun was a weekend when there was a potential playoff round and a championship game? I never did.
More fun.
Did we ever have showcases when we were younger? I don't think. Like the only one we really did was like the national festivals, the USA national festivals. That was kind of it.
Yeah, and I guess those are showcases by definition, but it wasn't like every weekend in the season. It was like you had to earn the right to be the best players from the Central District, from Minnesota, from West Coast or whatever, the team that always lost every game at the
Not anymore. Festival. Pacific, I think, won Select 17 last year.
85s. That's all I care about, right?
So yeah, okay. That was just 30 years ago, 20 years ago.
Whatever. Hey, I still got that newspaper clipping. Got the gold medal. All of us. What's up, baby? Oh, God.
Let's go.
See, tournaments, man. Tournaments are better than showcases, all right? Let's make a clear winner at the end of the tournament. Let's bring back like effort. Like, yeah, you're coming here and you got to earn that third or fourth game. You've got like fourth or fifth, whatever the hell we want to call it, right? Like, let's get back to like meritocracy, and let's get back to like making winning like a thing that you're trying to do. We need that in sports, because in life we got all these kids who just want to sit around and watch TikTok all day and do nothing. And it's like,
Get their
yeah,
participation trophies.
right, like
Or
that's
whatever.
bullcorn. Like, obviously, the do you know what movie that's from or no?
I would if you said it. What is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I'll try to think of
Do
another
you
one.
know the movie that that's from now that you say
Yeah,
that?
well, I'm trying. Somebody in there called me. No, okay.
Oh
Uh,
gosh.
come on.
Yeah, Can't Hardly Wait.
Can't hardly wait. Yep. Anyways, okay. Bullcorn, man. All right. So, I don't even know
Tangent.
where I was. I just started thinking about Can't
We're
Hardly Wait.
talking
What a
about
movie.
participation trophies and
Oh
kids
yeah,
being upset.
participation trophies. Ew. All right, we need to teach kids the value of trying to win. Need to teach them the value of going after a goal and selling out and doing everything they can to achieve said goal, because in that process they learn so much about how to be successful, how to pick themselves up after a loss, like just every freaking lesson that we need them to learn comes from like winning and losing in sports. So let's use that vehicle as a freaking metaphor and stop making because like you said, I didn't even think about that part of it. Showcases are literally like kids go to them to like literally worry about themselves and who's watching them, and it's not at all about the team anymore, right? Because there's
And there's
no
a time and a
team
place for
winning.
those. There's a time and a
Yeah,
place for those.
yeah.
Let's not totally poo-poo them, because there is a time and a place, and there is such thing as recruiting and scouting to juniors and college
But
and
they do
pros.
they
So
used to do that at tournaments for us.
yeah, no, yeah, that's true. That's true
And
too.
teams want to know who's going to be there in the third period of a tied game for the championship. How are you going to perform?
100%.
How do you
I
play?
will say that from a scouting standpoint, we put way more weight on a championship game than we do on, a Friday night first game of a showcase. That's for
Right?
damn sure. Yeah,
You know,
100%.
and so for me and for the kids, I just think it's way more fun for the kids. And I don't even want trophies at the end. Just give a handshake. All right, congrats, you won. You guys are champs. Maybe one big trophy, but everybody doesn't need a trophy.
And let me go a step further, just kind of like with what you're talking about. So obviously we had talked on our hour-long podcast out on Mondays about my buddy Ray passing away earlier this year. And so one of the things that brings that to the forefront is just creating memories, right? Creating memories. And you get that in tournaments. Like
Uh-huh.
you get that in tournaments. I remember, like, it's so funny. Like, I played against Nar in Silver Sticks Squirts, like Squirt double A, when we were like 10, 11 years old. And last year working in Michigan together, like, we still talk about it.
That's awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
and like, tournaments create memories, and it not even just honestly for like the kids, but for the parents too. I remember when we won nationals that Bantam year, again, like, just to even bring the point home even more, like, we won nationals that year. 20 years later, we had a Zoom reunion because it was during COVID, and every single player on that team showed up to that Zoom, like the reunion
Amazing.
Zoom. And so I do think, like, talking about memories, like, that's what it's honestly, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's what life's all about, is like creating great memories with people that you love. And so tournaments do that, like, and not even just the winning of the tournaments, but losing in heartbreaking fashion brings you closer together with people and gives you opportunities to strive for something even more in the future and stuff. So yeah, man, like, like, you're just creating good memories. Showcases don't do that. They don't do
I
that. Like, tournaments, I think they do that.
I love it. I never want to influence or say something just because I don't want you to ever say something just because I think it. Obviously, it's not what we do. The whole point of this is to hear your opinion before you hear mine, and vice versa. But I was hoping you would say that, man. You're so right. And the creating of memories. Like, if you go to if you go to 6 or 8 showcases a season and you just go there and play 3 games, it's like, yeah, okay. Well, what showcase was that at? It's like, oh my god, you remember double overtime in the semifinals in Huron in '92? Oh my god, like that's how we remember this stuff, because the
Yeah.
games had meaning. And I think we got to get back
That's
to
good
some
training
tournaments.
too. The more important you can make the games, it's better training for kids as they go up to each level because games get more important the higher the level you go as well.
Every
Right.
game's important. And that's
Yep.
why I love tournaments over
Me too.
showcases. Share the show, guys. Thanks for
Share the
listening.
show.